Hey everyone, I'm Michael Bruce, CMO at Agent Moves, and welcome to our Good to Great series. We're all about sharing amazing stories of top realtors and how they got there so we can help more realtors become great. So let's jump in today. I want you to meet Garrett Upton, and we like to start with a kind of an interesting fact about our agents that are not real estate related. And a very interesting fact about Garrett is he's a black belt. Boy, do I want to say envy black belts, but I know how hard it is to do what you've done, Garrett. I think I mentioned to you offline many years ago, I got to like a brown belt stage, which took years, but it is just an incredible commitment and dedication. And, tell us about the experience.
Well, and it's funny because up until I got my black belt, I had a year-long running joke that I have three brown belts. I had a brown belt in judo, a brown belt in Brazilian lucha libre, and then I just got my black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So, I had three brown belts, and I was like, I am the superior brown belt. But yeah, I mean it's been a 13-year journey, super interesting, hard. You have to learn a lot about yourself, and you got to be humble because you're going to get beat up on a regular basis. And, you pay people to beat you up. So it takes a different kind of person
It's a
to be
great,
into it.
yeah, it's a great point. I think I mentioned that just a couple of years ago with one of my older sons living in Manhattan. We went and studied Krav Maga together. And I was saying, why am I paying to have my son choke me twice a week?
Yeah.
But yeah, you do learn a lot about yourself. There's no question. And I think there are, it's like the dedication that it takes, this 13-year journey that you were on, right? And like you said, how it humbles you and so forth. I, I'm sure you can relate it to the beginning of your journey, in real estate. So tell us a little bit about that. What got you involved in real estate and, how did it start? And a little bit of that, angst and dedication, I guess related to like, how you've been doing your martial arts studies.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do think one of the nice things with starting martial arts so young is, you know, you're a 15-year-old person. I was 15, 150 pounds in a room full of grown men that are 180, 200 pounds. So, regardless of how good I was or thought that I was never going to have any success. And, just trying over and over. I mean, just like anything, if you just keep trying, you're eventually going to succeed at it, as long as you're reevaluating. And that's just how real estate is for me. I'm still learning and running into headaches and just finding a way to navigate my way through the transaction.
So how did you get started? What got you involved and got you interested?
Yeah, so it's a funny story. Um, my grandma, of all people, is a real estate investor. She does a few flips a
Oh,
year. So growing up, I would, go into homes, pull out staples or nails from the floor if she wants to do hardwoods. My dad is actually a home inspector, and that's really he kind of gave me the push over the edge to doing it. Um, and then very odd, but after I got my real estate license, I found out that my great great grandfather was a real estate agent in the early 1900s. So it's in the
wow.
blood.
Wow, that's a great story. So, okay, you get involved, you have this family tie to the business. Do you, start to work for an office? Or do you, just start a solo business? How do you get started?
Yeah, so I got started at Realty One in Davenport, Iowa. I did my first year and a half there, and my first year, I mean, just like everybody, it was rough. And I made it harder on myself. I got my home inspector's license to help my dad for some part-time income, and I was more focused on doing home inspections for my first full year. Um, and then in 2022, which was ended up being my first okay year, I did right around 1 million worth of volume by mid-year, and I was doing okay, especially with the split, but I knew that if I wanted to get to the next level or even be an okay agent, I needed some kind of guidance. So I ended up joining a team over at Remax Concepts, which is in Bettendorf. I did 2 years there, and then I just jumped off on my own again.
Okay, interesting. So right now you're a solo agent doing your own thing.
Yeah, I'm a solo agent through Epic Realty right now.
Through Epic Realty. Okay, cool. All right, so now you get into how was this past year for you? Now you're only in this for a couple of years, but I know you've had success. So, tell us about the last year and maybe a little bit about how you've achieved the success. What did you start doing differently these last 2 years?
Yeah, so I mean, one of the things that I've really been working on is my follow-up, which is something that is supposed to be so simple, but sometimes that phone is really heavy and you don't want to pick it up. But following up, I've tried. One of the things that I've had a lot of luck with my follow-up is just being slightly unconventional because, it's my job to talk to people, and nobody wants to talk to the person that is just trying to sell them something. So I've started, if I remember something about a person, oh, you're from this town, I'll find a meme about that town and go, haha, I just saw this and thought of you. And as dumb as that is, a slightly personalized meme, it gets a lot of responses. This past week I've been reaching out to, my past clients, thanking them for all of my, for just helping me stay in business and have a good year. With this being my third year in real estate, I've received a ton of referrals from past clients and family, and that one's been a huge one for me. So I'm very grateful for all of that.
Excellent. Yeah. There's no question that as you move into, right, the agent moves model is very much around experienced realtors. How do you get someone from good to great? Right. And I think I mentioned, the Jim Collins book, Good to Great, which is, phenomenal. And that's what we're trying to do here is get those nuggets of information, right? And still for newbies hearing about whether someone's doing this 15, 20 years or 3 or 4 years, they're going to pick up a nugget of information on doing something maybe they're not doing now. So, anything you can share that has brought you success is exactly what we're looking for. So, let's talk a little bit about, goals for 2025, the next, whether you're looking at a 1 year, 3 year plan, what's the goal for next year?
Yeah, so next year, my goal is to get up to 6 million, which my best year so far was last year, and I was right around 3.5 million. I've done about 3 million this year. It looked like I was going to have a really strong December. A lot of those deals ended up getting pushed back into first quarter of next year, which is nice. It'll give me a lot of momentum moving forward through the next year. And based off of, all my past clients, my referrals, I got a lot of gym referrals. It looks like next year is going to be really good. So I think 6 million is going to be a stretch, but it's definitely achievable with what I have going on.
Excellent. When you talk about gym referrals, you're talking about like through your network, literally of being in the gym, whether it's the dojo
people that I'm hanging out with. I mean, when I'm at the gym, I'll talk. If I have something funny happen to me at work, I'll talk about being a real estate agent. Oh, I saw this cool thing in a house. That way they know I'm an agent, but I'm almost, unless I'm jokingly trying to sell myself, like, oh, you want to buy a house? Talk to me. I never directly sell myself to people because, we're all there. We're trying to relax, have fun. Nobody wants to have a salesman in their face. So, I bring it up. Yeah. People know I'm an agent, and that's been huge for me.
Excellent. Yeah. I find that agents that embrace these niches, you're a cyclist, a big bike rider, and they join, Facebook, biking groups. I love hiking. I join those niches become an incredible place for relationship building, for referrals, and growing your business. And, like-minded people, people that are working out in the gym like you, they want to talk to people like you. You get it. And I'm sure you can relate your, dedication, the consistency of what you do to what it takes to help someone, within that home buyer, home seller situation.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of the people that come to the gym, I mean, it helps that, a lot of the time they have a goal. I mean, a lot of people don't have a goal of home ownership unless that seed gets planted. And I mean, I've had a lot of young guys, 23, 24, 25, reach out to me and say, hey, I just thought about buying a house, what are even the steps to do that? So, even if I'm not trying to hook them up as a client right away, I'll at least do that little bit of education. We've got some rural areas around here, so I'll just run through loan types, FHA, VA, USDA. Like, oh yeah, you want 0% down? USDA is a great program, and you get to live somewhere not big and full of people, and a lot of people like that.
Yeah, no, you're spot on, right? They do not know, first time home buyers do not understand what's out there for them, right? They think if I don't have a 20% deposit down payment, I can't look to buy a home. And that's
Yep.
just not the case. So educating them, again, it's all about, right, like sharing your wisdom. And that's a great niche also, as well as renters into first time home buyers.
Yeah, this year I want to say I've worked with 10 first time home buyers. It's been a lot of newbies, so a lot of high running emotions and stress, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get the deal done, a first time home buyer is the best client to have because you get a ton of referrals from them.
Yeah. That's great. A great niche as well for you to, yeah, their friends, right? When you're in that situation, their friends are going to be home buyers.
Yep,
So yes,
exactly.
once they have a good experience with you, great referral network. Yeah. So what do you see challenges? Okay, you're heading into the year with a little bit of steam, which is awesome. A lofty goal. I love stretch goals, right? Of, you trying to go from that 3.5 to 6. Even if you can get to 4.5, 5, it would be a crazy great year for you. What do you think the challenges you're going to face getting there?
Um, I mean, it's very competitive now. We still have very low inventory where I'm at. And then with first time home buyers, a lot of them have been lower price range, and that is either it's incredibly competitive or they're getting swooped up by investors. So trying to find, the right home, it needs a little bit of work, a little bit of elbow grease, but not complete reno work. And, walking that fine line, it can be hard, but definitely can be achieved.
Okay. So when you get into a home, are you doing more listings? Or are you working with sellers or buyers, or is it kind of an even split?
It's about 65-35. I primarily work as a buyer's agent. I have some listings. Really, I mean, one of my goals is to really focus on being a listing agent next year. And that's one of the fantastic things. I mean, goal wise, I've already got 3 or 4 listings lined up for first quarter next year. I mean, whether they decide to bite the bullet or not, but at least having that lined up, they know I'm an agent. Maybe they send me a referral. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. So on the listing side, do you feel like, what do you do when you get in to win that listing? What makes Garrett unique, different? What do you think you say that when they say, yeah, we got you. We love this. We want you to list our house. Yeah. Right, that's cool. Cool. Yep. So when you get in on a listing, again, I know you haven't had as many of these yet, but anything you do special that, kind of brings the confidence to the seller? Mhm. Okay, good. Really, really good. Really interesting. So yeah, I think like you're on the way. I love the goal. And that is what happens, right? You get what I've seen is the good realtors have stretch goals. And that's how you get to great, right? You don't get there by saying, maybe I can do 5% more next year, right? You get there by saying, I want to double or triple my business. So, hats off to you for the approach, which is the first part to it, knowing yourself and then knowing it's a stretch, but you have something you're shooting for, I think is awesome. And I think it's a great recommendation, just another good nugget. There's some good stuff here, I think, for other agents to hear, especially more maybe first time you're in, year 1, 2, 3, to kind of hear what you've done, how you've gotten this, here to 3, 3.5, and looking at a, $6 million, target coming into next year. So I think it's great. And how you're using social, has been a huge, difference maker, I think, for a lot of agents. And it's the combination. It's, we've found it's hitting your customer throughout the entire journey, through all of the channels, right? There are quite a few in social, and especially the first time home buyer for the younger, boy, you can really create a great niche there, being a younger agent, with those targets, older than those, 20-year-olds you're talking about, right? So you have some experience, but, being able to connect on social, perfect spot for, these targets that you have. So this was great. Really appreciate your time. And for anyone watching, please connect with Garrett on social, especially if you're, into any martial arts. Great. To me, it's always great, talking among friends and, having those kind of conversations, as well as then, what you guys do around real estate. So please follow Garrett. Click on like here, and hopefully subscribe to our YouTube channel. And until the next one, see you when we interview the next agent. Garrett, thank you so much today.